Well, the government shut down yet again. It seems like it happens so often now. But no surprise here. Donald Trump's allies in the media, Fox News, the right-wing podcast crew, other online personalities and talk radio, they are all laying the blame squarely on the Democrats. I was actually just visiting Breitbart's homepage, and the actual headline is Dems Shut Government. And notably, and this is what half the country, about half the country is hearing, but notably, they are also misleading. Well, one, they're misleading on the fact that Democrats shut down the government because really Republicans control the government. I know it's a little bit, dicier in Congress, if you will, but Republicans control the government. The president's a Republican. They're in control of the government. So Dems did not shut down the government. The Republicans, if you want to say someone shut down the government, it was the Republicans. But the MAGA media for at least a week, maybe longer, has been saying that Dems want to shut down the government because they want to give healthcare to undocumented immigrants. And particularly, they've basically homed in on the fact, or this is what they're saying to their audiences. This is what Jesse Waters on Fox News said to his audience, that Democrats want to shut down the government to give sex change operations to illegal immigrants. That's the message you're hearing on Fox News. That's almost verbatim, actually, from Jesse Waters' monologue. And so I was looking at Breitbart, and the headline, the big banner headlines, Dems shut down government for illegals, ! And then next, mass firings. And I think that's another part of the story. It seems like, I don't know if you picked up on this, but that there's this salivating to some extent from some of the major media figures about the idea of mass firings that Donald Trump's been threatening.
I think specifically in regards to the messaging around the shutdown, I think that it's concerning that that's the message that's being put out there. First of all, it logically makes no sense. Jesse Waters' argument that the Democrats are shutting down the government specifically to give sex changes to illegal immigrants is absurd. But when Republicans control the government, and they're also controlling a lot of this media that's being, consumed at this moment, it's a pervasive message that Democrats are to blame. And I wonder how the Democrats go about messaging on the opposite side, considering that they don't have control of Congress at this moment.
Yeah, it's interesting because it's like a house of cards built on lies. Dems did not shut down the government. Dems are not shutting down the government to give healthcare to undocumented immigrants. That's not actually what's happening. Those people aren't even eligible for the healthcare. So I don't even know. I've seen reporters actually point this out to Mike Johnson and the president of the United States, and they don't really have an answer. Trump was asked about this and literally just didn't answer the question at all because there's no way to answer it. He just went on a rant about border security and how Biden was terrible for border security. But I think the really disturbing thing is the celebration that we're seeing, or the coming celebration that's sure to happen if this does occur, of mass firings in the government. It was similar under Doge when, Elon Musk shut down entire federal agencies, completely upending the lives of a lot of people and leading to real serious consequences. And I just find it so, when someone loses their job, it sucks for them. It's a really, really bad thing, right? They have family that they have to take care of, possibly. They have rent to make. They have bills to pay. It's a really disruptive thing to their life. Some people, really struggle to recover from losing their job. And you have a lot of civil servants in government who, frankly, they work on behalf of the American people to keep the government functioning. And the idea that Republicans have villainized these people that we all interact with, you all interact with them on a regular basis. Everyone interacts with the government. But the fact that Republicans have villainized these people to the point where they are now comfortable effectively getting ready to celebrate them being fired en masse, I just find to be a new disturbing strain, or disturbing development in the government shutdown situation. We've been dealing with these for a while, but the idea that people now celebrate the government workers struggling is is really alarming.
The workers seem to be being used in essence as a pawn. You know, the Republicans get a chance to berate the Democrats for quote unquote shutting down the government. And the workers are left essentially to fend for themselves or furloughed, et cetera. And essentially just being used as a pawn in the game of political messaging in this moment.
Yeah, and I think, well, you've seen like right-wing media too celebrate, like they've been like celebrating firings for a while now, I guess. There was the Learn to Code situation where journalists who were being laid off because of the industry realities right now were being told to learn to code, right? And they were being mocked, and people were celebrating the fact that, I mean, anytime now, it's really, again, this has all been normalized, but anytime there's now layoffs at a media company, you see people like Benny Johnson or a number of others, you know, those types of people celebrate online and joke about it and mock the idea that journalists are losing their jobs. But now we're seeing it with the federal workforce, and this is not coming from like these aren't fringe characters anymore. They're often on Fox News talking to millions of people. Like Jesse Waters hosts one of the highest rated shows, not only on Fox News, but across the cable landscape. Like millions of people are listening to this guy lie to them about sex changes for illegal immigrants. And this stuff would normally have like long ago, like 10 years ago, been confined to like Alex Jones InfoWars, and everyone would have kind of almost laughed at it when, you know, like when he said the water's turning the frogs gay or whatever. Like that was kind of like, oh, like look how crazy Alex Jones is. He just kind of says this absurd stuff. Now it's like so mainstream. It's just like everyone's just saying it, and it happens on Fox News on a regular basis. Like this comment that I'm talking about probably didn't even get, you know, generate one or two stories. Like it's just like a normal thing.
Well, the irony too is the one who's maintained their sanity, or I guess, you know, come back to it in all of this, is the Drudge Report. I mean, like all of these right-wing sites are putting out articles that Democrats are to blame for this entire situation. Meanwhile, the top story on the Drudge Report is, you know, the buck stops with Trump in essence. And I just think it speaks to, you know, how divided this moment is, because one part of this country is getting that pervasive messaging that Democrats are to blame for XYZ reason.
Yeah, I'm looking at Drudge right now, and he has this flashback of Donald Trump on his website featured. And he says, this is in 2011, Donald Trump says, if there is a shutdown, I think it would be tremendously negative mark on the president of the United States, blaming then Obama for the government shutdown. And now the tables have completely turned. But, you know, the messaging, you know, like it just, I don't know. I think it just, again, it's like so exhausting to constantly point out the dishonesty from a lot of these outlets that are feeding information to such a large part of the country. And it's all been so normalized, this stuff. Like our toxic information environment is just the norm. Like no one even cares that it looks like a sewer anymore, I guess. But I think it's important to point out, and I think it's going to make this actual shutdown right now, it's going to increasingly make shutdowns more difficult to stop and to put an end to, because no one is in a shared reality anymore. I mean, even when Obama was dealing with John Boehner back in the day, it felt like at least maybe they were kind of living in the same world. And today it just feels like Donald Trump is playing to a totally different universe, and in a different universe of circumstances or whatever than the Democrats are. And I was just watching this happen, you know, not that it's a perfect example. I don't think these are two equal sides, but, you know, watching MSNBC versus Fox News, just not even in the same, they're not even in the same world.
Yeah, I mean, there is just no political monoculture anymore. I think that everybody's consuming things from totally different platforms at all hours of the day, and also passively consuming things too. I mean, you're not realizing when something can be on in the background, or you scroll past something on a social media app. And I just think that there is very little left of a bridge between the two sides in terms of how they're consuming media and the messaging they're receiving as a result.
Thank you for watching Power Lines. For more analysis and insight, subscribe to our YouTube channel down below, like this video, and you can watch more of us right over here.